guys, welcome back to the 3 Points Podcast. I'm your host Luke, joined again by
Marc. How are we, guys?
And also we have Liam again on the show. Special guest Liam.
Yep. Good evening, boys. How are we?
Yeah, I've been good. How have you all been, by the way?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Right. We're
Yeah.
going all right.
Yeah, we had a pretty quiet weekend, didn't we? I feel we had a quiet weekend this
Yeah,
time
pretty
around.
close. Yeah, we didn't do much.
We didn't really do much. But going into the Premier League, it was a bit of a boring week this week. But before we jump straight into that, we will go on to the league table because I nearly did this last week, but I've saved it this time.
Yep.
I brought it back. So for those of you first listening for the first time, we have kind of a league table going on this season with me and Marc.
Yep.
And we did touch upon it last episode, but we have obviously the new results coming in. So if Marc, you want to take over this for me, buddy?
Yep. So last week we predicted Villa versus Leeds. Leeds won 3-0. Luke predicted 2-1 to Villa. I predicted 3-1 to Villa. Liam predicted 2-0. None of us got that right.
Damn.
West Ham versus City drew 1-1. Luke 4-2 to City. I said 3-1 to City. Liam said 2-1 to City. None of us got that right. Fulham versus Palace. Palace won 2-1. We all predicted Palace to win. Luke predicted 3-1. I predicted 2-0. Liam predicted 3-1. So all close on that one.
We were close on that one.
United versus Chelsea ended up 0-0. Luke predicted 3-0 to Chelsea. I predicted 3-2 to United. Liam predicted 3-2 to United. Liverpool Sheffield. Liverpool won 2-1. Luke predicted 5-2 to Liverpool. I predicted 5-1.
Big result there.
And Liam predicted 5-0. Southampton Everton. Southampton won 2-0. Luke predicted a 3-3 draw. I predicted 2-0 to Everton. And Liam predicted 3-2 to Everton. So none of us got that right.
Nope.
Wolves versus Newcastle ended up 1-1. Luke predicted a 2-0 win to Wolves. I predicted 2-1 to Wolves. Liam predicted 3-0 to Wolves. Arsenal versus Leicester ended up Leicester 1-0. Luke predicted 1-0 to the Arsenal. I predicted 2-1 to Arsenal. Liam ended up 1-1, and none of us got that right. Brighton versus West Brom. Luke predicted Brighton to win 2-1. Liam and I both got the correct score with a 1-1 draw.
You lucky fucks.
Burnley versus Tottenham ended up 1-0. Luke predicted 4-0. I predicted 4-1. Liam predicted 3-0. And the table now looks
where does it stand? Who's winning?
Luke's in second place with 15 points, and I'm on top with 17.
All right, looks like I got to make the comeback again.
You got to make the comeback, yeah.
Can you boys remind me, what's the little wager bet you got going on for the loser?
Wager, yeah, we did speak on it last episode, but I do believe the loser has to wear the other team's top and post it on the 3 Points Podcast Instagram.
Yep.
I reckon we do it on everyone's Instagram. So I post it on mine, you post it on yours, and we post it on the 3 Points.
Got it then. Yep.
I reckon that's fair because that's a pure embarrassment right there.
Yep.
I like
that.
This.
I like this.
We will now dive into last week's matches because it was a bit of a boring week. I'm not going to lie, boys. Yeah. I wasn't excited by it. We all thought there was going to be some big results this weekend, as we just seen from the predictions, but it was kind of a boring week. I think we had about 3 or 4 draws. Off the top of my head, it was pretty boring. But the first match I do want to talk about, this was actually a very exciting match. It was the Leeds-Villa game. Now, did any of you boys see that game?
Yeah, Patrick Bamford got a hat-trick, didn't he?
That hat-trick was oof. We'll get into that. So, first of all, I want to talk about Villa because we have been talking about them a lot this season, thinking they were going to be quite a strong team, and they have been keeping a lot of clean sheets. Martinez, I don't really know how to say his name properly, and I don't want to keep butchering it, no disrespect. But, you know, with the signings they had, Barkley, obviously, we talk about Grealish every week in, week out, I thought they were going to do well. And that's the reason why I predicted them to win. Was it 3-1 I predicted, I believe?
Let me have a look.
Along the lines of that.
They won 3-0.
Yeah, I know, but I did predict Villa for the win, but they actually lost 3-0.
You predicted 2-1.
Yeah, so I predicted 2-1 for Villa, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, so Leeds, honestly, they just outplayed Villa. Villa did not really stand a chance. They did not play well. Grealish had a couple chances, just flicked them wide of the post. Just not really looking very good in front of goal. But I just want to talk about Bamford's wonderful hat-trick. Like, I don't know if you boys saw the goals, but just the composure in front of the goals and in front of the net, and just the way he took the shots was just like Premier League-esque. And this is why I believe that now Bamford is in his career at this time where he's now stepping up to the plate week in, week out. 6 goals already in the Premier League, I believe. So he's out there to ball. I think top goal scorer right now in the league is Son with 8. So Bamford isn't too far behind.
Yeah.
But this is where I get into talking point about Villa. Now, we thought, and I kept asking this question last week, will they eventually start falling down this tree? Is that elephant stuck up the tree and will it fall down? And like we all agreed that it probably would.
Well, we gotta look at Villa as a team, and whatever happened, this has been a great start for them. I don't think their
100%.
fans were expecting them to be, a point off of top with a game in hand. So whatever happens from now, I think they've had a great start, and I think they should all be, happy with what's happened at Villa.
Do you think this result was one that was coming because they were on a trip to Mars? I feel like they weren't on planet Earth. Aston Villa's score was on Mars. They were doing a madness.
Yeah. I mean, they were. The confidence was high. They did walk into the Leeds game with. Rightfully, they had confidence. They'd won so many games. They beat Liverpool 7-2.
I think their last defeat was in July to United or something like that. Some crazy stat like that. So,
but I think Villa was threatening to be relegated last season, and considering the start they've made this season, I think it's good for Villa and good for the league. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think they're still. I don't think their season's completely over. I think they've made some good signings, and we'll see how they go next week against
who do they have next week? Southampton. That'll be an interesting game. But I did want to shout out Terry from work quickly because he did at the start of the season we were having conversations at work about Patrick Bamford, and he rated him as a baller.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he has performed this season, done incredibly well.
Yeah.
And so, big shouts for Bamford. He was at Chelsea for a while, I think 2016-15 season, and then he didn't really do much, didn't really come into the side, obviously because Mourinho at the time wasn't playing youngsters like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move on to the next game because that game, although it was a good game, it was really just Bamford's second half hat-trick that was the magic in that game.
Yeah.
So the next game I want to talk about quickly was the West Ham City game. Now, the West Ham City game, to me, just shows how much this season is going to be an open field.
Yeah.
These are points that City should be getting. Realistically, this should be a 3-point game. This should be 3 points that they should have wrapped up, walking all the way back to their home. It doesn't make any sense, Marc.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
West Ham at the start of the season, what did we say? I thought they were going to get relegated, honestly.
Yeah.
And they're getting draws out the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, again, City dominating possession. But for me, this is drop points. Do you agree?
Yeah, drop points, but you got to give West Ham credit. There's
credit where credit's due.
Two massive draws in 2 weeks, one against Tottenham and one against City.
And to be fair, Antonio did score a worldie.
Yeah.
The bicycle kick of dreams.
I watched that one live.
Yeah,
it was very good.
What were your thoughts on the game? Did you enjoy the game?
It was not too bad. I think West Ham did enough to stay in it and compete.
And Antonio's goal.
You could tell City were on top, and they probably 100%. Deserved
they
to
dominate
win.
the stats again on possession.
But I think West Ham they're doing the job.
They are,
and they got Liverpool next week. So if they can get
that's
if 3 weeks in a row, if they get a draw, if they get something out of that game, that's good for West Ham because let's face it, they're not. Well, I wouldn't have thought they'd be.
They're not making my top 6.
Yeah,
or
they
top
would
8,
be. I don't. Yeah, exactly.
10.
So these points, they're big for them if they want to survive in the league. They could prove us wrong in a few weeks. They could be finishing. They could be in the top 6 or 7, but. At the start of the season, what I predicted, I thought they'd be knocking about the bottom half of the table.
100%.
So kudos to West Ham for that point. That's a massive point for them. I would have taken that.
Mate, especially Antonio as well. That's a goal especially the goal he scored against a team like City. That's something you'll be celebrating for the rest of your life, mate.
100%,
the execution of the finish was just world class. And then we had Phil Foden getting the equaliser. I honestly just want to talk about Phil Foden quickly. I think he's a baller.
Yeah,
I really
massive
rate him.
Prospect.
And mate, I'm glad he's from the UK. I'm glad he's English.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's homegrown. I really hope now the talent we have in the England squad, it's a different conversation, but I really hope that talent now progresses to win some shit because the way he plays for City week in, week out, it's just flawless. The passing, the touch, the finishes, it's just everything you'd want from a midfielder, to be honest.
Yep.
But apart from that, nothing really happened. It was a late equaliser from Foden. Sterling could have had the winner. I don't know if you saw the miss he had. He took a really bad touch in the box and then just the touch with that final finish would have got him the goal, but because the touch got away from him, Fabianski, believe just picked up the ball from him. So again, Sterling, this is the thing I always say about him, and it happened in the World Cup, and it happens in many cup competitions for him. When it really matters for Sterling, he seems to miss sitters. He misses balls in front of his own goal. I mean, opposition goal, 6 yards out. And then he fluffs chances like that. And I feel like if Sterling just kept, even though he has been working on his finishing and it has been getting better, I feel like if Sterling kept working on his finishing week in, week out, he'd be a complete player, a complete winger.
Yeah.
And honestly, would be incredible for England as well. So, really, there wasn't much to say about the match. Anything else? You guys have any thoughts on that match?
It's just one of those another Big 6 games where the teams dropped points.
I know, and it just leaves such a massive gap in the table, though.
And it's just... Without the fans, this season's all over the joint. You know, you've got Tottenham dropping points here. You've got United who've dropped points. You've got Liverpool who've dropped points. Chelsea and Arsenal are dropping points. it's good for like the neutral us viewers because I get sick and tired of seeing Liverpool City run away with the league and like we're all just competing for third and fourth after like
it gets
the
pretty
fifth
boring.
week. So it's good to see teams like Villa and Everton and that towards the
Getting
top.
those results,
And where it's just complete different, and I'm happy about that. But what about you, Liam? What do you think of that game, the City West Ham?
Yeah, like I said, I think West Ham are just doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I think that if they keep playing with this belief, they may not. They'll start, instead of drawing, they'll start snatching a couple wins.
Snatching a couple results, 100%.
I
mean, they were unlucky to concede, to be fair. It was a good finish, but from what I saw, I know Man City were on top of the game and they dominated possession. I felt like that was a result where West Ham may have snatched that and they just last minute got it taken away from them.
Well, just thinking right now off the top of my head, West Ham have played Arsenal, City, Tottenham and Liverpool next week. They're 4 big fixtures after
and
that.
Stole how many points?
And after that, they should be playing easier sides.
Relative teams are on them, but that's where they normally. And it's funny I say this, but it's weird when they get those big results against those big teams. This is where these big games become even more important because those are the points you've got to grab. Yeah, those 3 points you have to get. Yeah, and I feel like if they don't get those 3 points in these next couple of games, then they will start to struggle. But I do have belief in West Ham.
I just had a look at their next 4. They've got Liverpool, Fulham, Sheffield, and then Villa.
Yeah,
so it gets easier, you know.
There's winnable games in there.
It gets easier for.
There's 2 winnable games in that fixture list.
Yeah.
But I just want to touch. You actually led me into a great little question thing then, Mark. Talking about the fans, my dad also did call me up today, and he wanted to answer a couple questions which we meant to touch on before, but we'll quickly touch on now.
Yep.
So my dad had asked me, like, do you believe that fans have made a difference to players' performances this season? And I did answer this on the phone, but I'll answer it again just for you guys. We have touched upon it on the podcast quite a lot of times now.
Yeah.
But I do believe they make a big difference on players' performances. And I'll go into this in a bit more detail. If you're rocking up at Anfield and you're a team like, not for example, like I'm trying to think off the top of my head here, but like I know Stoke in the Championship, but like you're a team like Stoke and you're going to Anfield, right? Crystal, a nice pitch. A nice stadium, yeah? No fans. Mate, that's a dream come true. When I was playing my football at my level and I was going to certain pitches and certain grounds, I would love to go there because they wouldn't have any fans and it was a lovely pitch to play on and you can play good football on there. So I believe that this season with no fans being there, these lower end teams coming up to these nice stadiums, these big places like Tottenham and all these big grounds, it's just there's no pressure to play.
Yeah,
and we've kept talking about in this podcast, and I think you've agreed multiple times that the fans make a massive impact on player performances.
Yeah, 100%.
Bad and good.
Yep.
For example, if you got a whole team behind you, Liam, like cheering you on behind you, you're probably going to have that surge for a comeback if you're down 3-0. And for example, if you are winning, you're most likely to keep going on winning because you've got the team chanting your name and everything like that. But when there's no one chanting, it's just your manager and your manager talking to each other and talking to the team, should I say, sorry. Like, it just leaves the game open for anything to happen. I think that's why this season has been so unpredictable. Because that's what my dad kept asking. He's like, is this why you believe the season is unpredictable? Yeah. And I have to agree, it is because for that reason there. Yeah. You know, you can't really... This is why this season, I believe, out of every other season, is mainly due to the fans. And we've touched upon it many times. But just to answer that question for Dad. And now the second question he had also, and this is due with Bruno Fernandes and Jorginho, was the penalty kicks. Now, we have seen it quite a lot this season and last season with Bruno Fernandes taking these penalty kicks. More so the hop and the skip my dad was asking about. Now, Liam, as a Man United fan, what do you think about Bruno Fernandes' skip and hop? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's his routine.
Exactly. And this is what I explained to my dad. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, exactly. He's following through his routine.
And I think the hop and skip is mainly due to the fact that if you wait and the keeper doesn't move, you can slot it either side. If the keeper does move, then you can pick to the right. If he goes to the left, you go to the right. Now, where it comes an issue is if keepers start reading this and they know, okay, if I don't move and I can just kind of predict where he's going to go in the terms of like, I know he's going to do the skip and I wait for the skip, then they're probably going to save it more times out of 10. But what I explained to Dad is it's not that simple. Keepers, as much as they may know you're going to go for that penalty kick every single time, it's still a gamble. It's still a risk. Yeah. And I feel that's why you see many keepers try to judge it early. So to answer that question, Dad, shout out to John. Big John. Yeah. That's why I believe they do those penalty kicks often is because it works for them. I mean, Fernandes only missed, was it 2 this season now? I think it is 2. I think he missed the previous one a couple weeks ago.
He missed 1.
Yeah, but...
From memory.
But the hop and skip technique, I believe it's just ingrained in them. If it works for them, it works for them. I know some people don't like it. They believe that you just nail the ball straight left or right. But in my opinion, and Mark, you may disagree, I feel like the hob and skip works, but what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it works. I guess it's each person's trait and what works for them. And United have been winning a lot of penalties recently, and it's good they've got a good penalty taker, because if they didn't,
yeah, they probably wouldn't be placing anyone on the table. Yeah, that's for sure.
Because they've got a good penalty taker that there's getting points and wins through there. But I just think it's down to player traits and how
100%.
it suits them,
So there you go, Big John. The question's been answered.
Yep.
And there you go. So we'll move on now back to the Premier League games.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other games we had for the weekend was Liverpool-Sheffield. Now, that was a 2-1. And Mark, I believe you watched this game, correct? Or
Not well. I didn't act at the start because I thought Liverpool were going to smack them, and I couldn't be bothered watching it. Then I looked at my phone, and Sheffield were winning 1-0.
1-0. Hey.
So I thought, well, if this is going to be an upset, I'll tune in. But then Liverpool ended up scoring a couple, and
these are one of those games again where, and this is what for me the difference between Liverpool and City is sometimes, is that like City seem to really bottle results. I know Liverpool have this season with the Aston Villa game and a couple other games they've dropped points, but against Sheffield, they're down 1-0, and again, they come back and win 2-1.
Yeah.
A quality goal from Alexander-Arnold, just nearly scores a worldy free kick, but then he whipped the ball into the box for a header to Mane, which was saved, and it came back out and then put in the back of the net. So I just feel like right now, Alexander-Arnold, I know he hasn't played good this season defensively, but attackingly, he just looks like a baller.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the free kick, boys, that nearly went in. It was like from in his half, keeper had to make a worldy save. Like an absolute worldy save. That's the word of the week, by the way, boys. Worldy. I've said it a lot this episode already. But it was a worldy save.
Yeah.
And then from there, we had Firmino with the second. Oh, yeah, that was the goal before. Firmino tapped that in from the Mane header that was saved. And then Salah had a wonderful finish, which was denied by VAR because he was offside, but it was a beautiful takedown slotted into net, but it was denied. But I just wanted to touch on that goal because I think Salah's actually a baller. The more I watch him, I thought he was overrated for a while because I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm delusional. So I thought he was a bit overrated because he didn't really do much at Chelsea, but he's a proven player. Yeah. For me, he's definitely proven.
Yeah, in my opinion, the best striker in the league.
Yeah, he stepped up. He scored it. I think he scored in this game as well. Yeah, he ended up... Diego Jota ended up scoring, I believe, his second goal in 2 games at Anfield.
Yeah.
So 2 games at Anfield, 2 goals for Diego Jota. Starting off really well. Coming from Wolves, I believe, the transfer, So, man, he's starting his Liverpool career off nicely. But really nothing much happened in that game. I didn't watch the game, so I only watched the 25-minute highlights on the Optus Sport app, so I didn't really get to whole game diagnosis, so I can't really talk about this game too much.
Yep.
But it was a good game from what I saw. Sheffield, again, getting really unlucky. They had a couple chances, playing some good football this season. I know they haven't got the results, and they're not doing too well, but their actual passages of play and the way they play the game, I do like to watch. It is very enjoying.
Yeah, well...
They come to play football.
Yeah, well, Sheffield need to start picking up results soon because Chris Wilder will be out of a job.
100%.
Only got a point this season, and
if they don't actually pick up their results, results matter. It doesn't matter how good you play football or how unlucky you get. If you don't get the results, your job's in jeopardy.
They're second bottom, so
it is painful. Especially what did they finish last season?
They finished 5th or 6th, I think. Last season.
Madness. And I know we're only 6 games in, but still, second from bottom. It's not too hot looking for them. But yeah, so overall result was 2-1. Sheffield scoring a nice penalty, and then we got a goal from obviously Firmino, and then the finish from Jota. So we'll move on to the next game.
Oh no, sorry to interrupt. Sheffield finished 9th last season.
9th last season. There we go. Fact check coming in live from Marc.
Fact check. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Sheffield United, they've really got to pick up their results, and because I don't want to see them relegated again. I do believe they are a Premier League side at this point, but the results aren't showing it right now. But we'll move on to the next game. And I believe the next game we wanted to talk about was the Southampton-Everton game, which I believe I watched with you, Marc.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched the first half.
I think we all watched that one, yeah.
Yeah, you were there too, Liam. So I'm going to let you take this one, Marc. Go ahead.
I thought that Everton were a bit...
lackluster.
Yeah, lackluster. I think Southampton went for it.
Mate, they played well from early on,
and
creating
Everton
a lot of
didn't.
chances.
I think Everton were kind of... They were a bit frightened at Southampton's start, and Southampton got 1-0 up, and I thought maybe this would be the time where Everton react. They didn't react. They went more inside their shell.
Yeah, they looked really shit, really poor.
They were very contained. They were very... So I think, that was a shock result, but it was it wasn't like a
It was standard performance you'd see from Everton this season, yeah.
Southampton was well deserved to win that match.
Yeah, they dominated the game. Everton to me, sorry to cut in, Everton to me looked really poor. The midfield really didn't exist for them. It was kind of dominated from Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams just on the wing play, and the link-up play in the middle was just beautiful to watch from Southampton. They did bang in a goal. I think Shea Adams scoring a goal as well, and then Ward-Prowse, excellent finish to the first goal from Ward-Prowse, taking it in his stride and then smacking it into the bottom left corner. They had a good shot from outside the box as well, which me and Liam, we saw. I think you were in the toilet or something like that, but me and Liam reacted to that little shot from outside the box. Keeper saved. That was a good save from the keeper, to be honest.
They could have put more.
Yeah, 100%.
I was very impressed with Southampton.
Southampton played really well, and coming off the back of the Chelsea 3-3 game, I believe that's a good run of games for them. They get a draw, get a point against Chelsea. They go and grab 3 points against Everton, top of the table.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about this season, it's so wide open. Teams are snatching points from everywhere.
Well, I think it's going to be confidence from here on out.
Yeah, 100%. And then
Southampton came into that game and they played confident football.
They played football they wanted to play.
That first half was incredible. That's some of the
Everton
best football I've seen this
like
season.
last year's Everton, the year before. They just looked like a shit team. And to be honest, like we said before, I've had this written down. Southampton could have easily had 4 or 5 goals that game. And we also did have the red card. Now, I don't know off the top of my head who actually got red carded. I believe, what was his name?
I can't pronounce his name, but it's Digne or Digne or
Digne?
I think it's Digne.
Give it a good pronunciation.
Yeah, I'd say Digne myself. Yeah.
Now, the red card, I'm not saying it's not a red card, right? But from watching it back, he did clip him on the run which was he didn't go down, but then he stood on the back of his shoe. Now, when you watch it back in like slow motion, you can see that I believe it's actually an accident. I don't think he means to step on his foot because he steps on the back of the boot and the stud gets stuck in his boot from the replay and they both fall down. Now, I understand why it would be a red card because it was a dirty challenge from behind, and I understand why it was given, but I don't think it was as serious as every player made it out to be. And I know Everton have been kind of dirty this season. I think they've already got 2 red cards in 2 games now. Richarlison getting the last red card last week. But yeah, to me, I feel like the red card was quite harsh. Then again, I do understand why it was given. But yeah, to some of the game, really, Everton just looked poor. Looked really weak to me. They didn't look like a side that was a top 4 or even 3 side. They looked like a side that finished mid-table.
Well, that Digne red card has been reduced to a 1-game ban. An independent regulatory commission accepted a 3-match ban for the left-back's tackle on Southampton's Kyle Walker-Peters was excessive punishment. So
exactly. It was very like Marc. It was very accidental. He stood on the back of his boot. His stud got stuck in the boot. I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of good to see that happened. But Shea Adams for me, he's looking great. Former Birmingham player, scoring that second goal was just a ball into the back of the box. Whipped in. No, he started the move, to be fair, as well. Whipped in the back of the box and a great finish from Shea Adams. So I know Big John loves him as well because former Blues player, but he's doing well in the Premier League so far. So shout out to Shea Adams there.
Yep.
But now we will move on to the Burnley-Tottenham game. So that result was 1-0 to Tottenham. Mm-hmm. And the Son KO duo continues.
Yeah.
Another link-up play.
They left it late, but they got the 3 points.
They did leave it late. And to be fair, Harry Kane had a clearance off the line to save Burnley from scoring. Do you believe this Son KO duo will continue for the rest of the season, or is this just like a little dynamic duo for the first, 10 games or so? Or do you think this is now a set dynamic duo where these guys are just on the same wave level? Because right now, you can trademark that. They seem set. Son duo, Son Kane, get that on a shirt because it just looks like it's magical right now. And I know you don't really like talking about Tottenham, but what's your thoughts on it, Marc?
Of course, if they're both fit, they're going to, because Son and Kane have both got massive injury issues.
They do.
The past 3 seasons. That's where Tottenham tend to dip. Last season, they ended up playing with Dele Alli up front because Son was called up to the Korean fucking military
army. Yeah, that was such a strange thing.
Kane was injured. But looking at the stats here, Burnley actually had more chances than Tottenham, which was quite shocking to me. I would have thought a team with Kane.
Yeah, no. So I did watch the game for this game. There were half chances. There were pop shots from outside the box. They were never troubling the keeper.
But that's like for a team like Burnley, that's what you can kind of do.
Yeah, but the shots were poor, Marc. They were really poor. They were like lackluster shots. They didn't test Alisson at all.
Yeah. I guess they saw that.
Alisson, sorry.
Lloris,
yeah.
I guess they saw Lanzini's goal and they thought, you know what, we'll give it.
We're going to try and recreate
We'll try.
But yeah,
and
they
get
were
something
very
in.
poor shots. They didn't have their shooting boots on, to be fair to Burnley. They
Yeah.
just sat in blocks of 4, defended deep, and then they counterattacked, and they didn't really get it into the box. What I was hoping from Burnley was to drive into the box and get shots off in the box, but a lot of their shots were from outside of the box,
Yeah.
so they didn't really trouble the keeper that much. But Tottenham this season, I've been scraping results. I know the 3-3 draw against West Ham wasn't really scraping a result because they should have won that 3-0.
Yeah.
But, you know, a 1-0 result against a team like Burnley, and we talk about it all the time, these are 3 points that are massive. And
Yeah.
right now, I'm going to say it again, Tottenham, title contenders, Marc. We said it the second episode. We both thought they were smoking crack or something different.
No,
Gee.
I don't.
But
I
they
don't
grabbed
think
another
so.
3 points.
I don't know.
I still don't think so. I still think that it happens every season. They pick up points against smaller sides, and people think they're title contenders, and they go and they draw against a team like West Ham. They beat United fair 6-1 against.
So you think
10
it's
man.
more of a small club mentality?
Not so much. I just don't think.
They have a doc about it now. They're not a small club, Marc.
No,
That's
don't
doc-
rate them, do you?
they're not a small club. I just think defensively they're weak, and going forward they're not strong. Son's injury prone, Kane's injury prone, and Bale's injury prone.
I understand you may not think they're strong, but they have been bagging in goals. Son's top of the league for goals scored right now. Someone wants to.
Son's top for
fact-check
goals,
there.
and I'm pretty sure Kane
Top
is
for
top for
assists,
assists. I
yeah.
know Son's got 8 goals.
And I think Kane's got about 5 or 6 assists. I'm not too sure.
He's got
on
8
that.
assists.
8 assists.
So that's 16 goals created. Well,
yeah, 60
give or
chances
take,
created.
give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think they had a poor start to the season anyway. People forgot about that with Tottenham. No, I don't think they're title contenders. I think people getting carried away that they've won a couple of games that they should have.
For me, and maybe Liam can disagree because Mourinho wasn't really at Man United for that long, but it would be nice to see Mourinho take a team like Tottenham to win a title.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see Mourinho. As much as I don't want Tottenham to win the league, I'm just saying this from a neutral fan perspective. It would be nice.
You're
it'd be
getting
nice to
around
see-
them lately.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a Tottenham fan,
Oh.
boys. All right, I don't like Tottenham, but I do like Mourinho. I've told you about this before. He's like an ex-girlfriend that you still want to fuck, but you can't because you got the missus at home waiting for you.
What an analogy.
It's a beautiful analogy. Man, that's what Mourinho is to me. He's an ex-girlfriend that I
that's
still
quoted
see from
away.
now
No,
and now.
they'll finish top 4, Tottenham will, but I don't think they've got the defence to go and win the
Nah.
league.
That's fair enough.
Nah, I think it's the same as always. I think one of you mentioned it before. If one of those boys up front goes down,
Gets injured. It's
they're
over.
cool.
Season's over.
I say that
Because they have Lucas
every
Moura
year.
as their
Yeah.
backup striker, I believe.
Yeah, and you saw how
Who even is that?
you saw how big. If you watch the All or Nothing documentary, when they got injured, Mourinho just wanted him to play, although he was injured.
Yeah, you saw the Kane
doctor
injury
was-
shook
The
him.
doctor was
They
like,
shook
"You're
him
not
up."
allowed to play him."
Yeah.
And I think, look, if they can stay fit, they've got a good chance. But I don't know. I don't think so. I think they'll be top 4 definitely. I think they'll be closer than what they were last season with all the points being dropped everywhere around. But I still think that they're beating teams 1-0. The only big result they've really had with a big margin of goals is against United. And
Yep.
they were still in the game, United, until they got a player sent off. And we all know what happens when a player gets sent off. You can consider a lot of
Yeah,
goals.
100%. Yeah. Well, we're having to
changes
us at West Ham under 13,
Yeah,
so.
it changes the tactics completely.
Mark, who's finishing higher than Arsenal or Tottenham?
Good question.
You just
I'd
said
say
Tottenham are finishing top
I'd
4.
say Tottenham.
Really?
I'd say Tottenham, yeah.
Wait, can I hear that again? Say that one more time.
Yeah, no, I'd say Tottenham.
Mark's been.
Gee.
I don't know who's replaced Mark in today's episode. This
No,
isn't Mark.
They're not, like I said, they're not winning the league, but previous seasons, you look at the names that they've got, Son, Kane, Bale up front.
Yep.
We've only got really a Aubameyang that's really scores every
So,
goals.
a better team. Who's the better team right now? So you're saying Tottenham has the better side?
Yeah, they got the better side. They got the better squad depth. We're still in a rebuild.
Yep.
We're a year into this rebuild. Tottenham, they've been in a rebuild since the 60s because they haven't won the league yet since then. But
They won the Audi Cup or whatever that
yeah,
trophy
that
was.
pre-season tournament. but no, on paper, if you look at it, Tottenham have the better side.
Fair enough.
But our future still looks bright under Mikel. But yeah.
Now, we will get to the Chelsea-Arsenal game soon, but the other results in the league, and I didn't watch
Chelsea
these
United,
matches.
you mean?
Oh, Chelsea United, sorry.
Yep.
And then
Good
we'll
pick
get to
up.
the Arsenal game as well. But the other matches in the league I didn't watch. So I'll go over the results for you guys that didn't know, but I'm not going to speak about them because personally I didn't watch the game, so I don't feel like I'm qualified to speak upon them. We had the Wolves-Newcastle game with 1-0. Raul Jimenez scoring in the 80th minute and then Jacob Murphy grabbing a late equaliser in the 89th minute.
Yep.
So my result was about to be right. I know I said Wolves for the win, but, last minute equaliser from Newcastle. And then we had the Brighton-West Brom game finishing also 1-1. So another draw. And that was Jake Livermore own goal. And then we had a Carlin Grant, I believe, scoring the 83rd minute. So another game I didn't watch on paper. I don't know, haven't got the stats in front of me, but pretty even games on the results. And then we had Fulham Crystal Palace, which again I didn't watch either because I was out. And we had Riedewald scoring in the 8th minute, and then we had Zaha scoring in the 63rd minute to make it 2-0, and then Tom Carney getting a last-minute goal in the 95th to make it 2-1 to Crystal Palace against Fulham.
Yeah.
Now,
Soft more fantasy there.
yes. Now we're going to lean to the big games, as in the games that we want to talk about, that we're really excited to talk about. They end up being quite fucking boring. I'm not going to lie to you. The Chelsea United game bored me to fuck.
Yeah.
I fell asleep halfway through the game, not knowing what the fuck was going on because I was out watching the game. But, how did you think of the game, Liam? Like, what was your thoughts on the overall game?
I mean, yeah, I guess from a fan's perspective, you would say, yeah, boring.
Yep.
Looking at it from a United perspective of how we played, I think it was not bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you didn't. I don't think United played bad at all, to be honest.
I don't think we were amazing, but I think this was one of the best games that we defended this year. When you look at the quality you guys had, I believe you had more shots than us.
I think you guys did dominate the stats quite hard, actually. I don't think Chelsea played very well.
The possession was actually very even.
Yeah, 51-40.
Yeah, we had 14 shots to 6
on target.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had 4 shots on target, 1, and Chelsea had 1 shot on target.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's,
So
I was
14
saying
shots
in
to 6,
general.
yeah. Luke said, want to know if it was on target or not.
To be honest, I didn't really rate the game. It was a battle of the midfield. It just felt like really weak football. It was Kante dispossessing and then Kante losing the ball and then Havertz losing the ball and then you guys picking up with Fernandes and Fernandes playing a through ball that would get picked up from the keeper. It just seemed quite sloppy, to be honest.
Yeah, it just kind of looked we were happy with defending and trying to counter.
Yeah, and that was the same with Chelsea, to be honest.
We kind of looked scared to concede more.
Yeah. I think in big games, some teams do get too
having.
defensive, and I feel like, and I saw a lot of comments on the Chelsea Instagram page and also on the Arsenal Instagram page. The Man United Instagram page, of just feeling like teams nowadays don't really take many risks in games, like especially these big clubs. The tactics are so strong now that like you don't really see much wingers taking on players anymore. You don't see the physical battles as much anymore. I know the game is progressing, but it does make for these big fixtures to be sometimes quite boring because of how tactical they are and how the managers approach the game. But yeah, so
I definitely think you're right there.
Yeah,
I think we played more disciplined.
100%.
More in the fact that yes, you would like it if we had a bit more of a go and took on a few more players. But I feel as if we did well in defense because we played disciplined and we stuck to our roles.
Yeah.
So that was something I was really impressed with. I think that's the best we've done so far this season.
What, defensively?
Yeah.
I just want to shout up Mendy real quick. Mendy playing amazing at the moment. Man of the match for the game. The saves he was making, Jesus, against Rashford, against Mata. The first one against Rashford, it was a similar position he was against PSG. Across the face of the goal, whipped it. Good leg out from Mendy to save the ball, deflect it away. And then we had Mata, edge of the box, whipping it with his left foot. Near post, again saved by Mendy. And the reason I'm touching on Mendy so much, and because I did bag him at the start of the season, I didn't think he was even a bang average keeper, but he's proven to me and a lot of the Chelsea players that he's quite good. And I've got a stat for you boys. He's had the best start of any Chelsea keeper since Petr Cech, with a record of 2 clean sheets on his 2 Premier League starts
since 2004. I saw a stat.
Yeah, since 2004.
Well. Yeah,
it's insane. So he's kind of filling that hole since Quartar left. Because that was a big loss for us. We're losing him, and then we signed Kepa on a panic transfer buy, which we all saw how that worked out for us. But yeah, Mendy really performing well. I believe if Kepa was in goal, it would have cost us the game. I know, and at the start of the season, before we even started the podcast, I had a conversation with Marc out here, and I even said, don't bag Kepa. Yeah, I know his stats may not show it, but I believe you need to get around your players. But, fuck that, because Kepa's been fucking shit ever since I've said that.
Yeah.
So I can't keep defending him, and I'm glad that
you need to send him out on loan or something.
It's a waste of money. We need to get rid of him. I don't want to send him out on loan. I do as well. I'm a bit torn because he's a young player, so he can keep developing as a keeper. And he reminds me a bit of De Gea. When De Gea started his career at Manchester United, he was not a good keeper. He conceded quite a lot. And then he built the confidence. And then around, I think it was 25, or around that age is when he really started to be a real good keeper. So I believe Kepa, he still has that in him. My overall thoughts on the game, I believe Rashford should have had 2 goals. They were very good saves by many, as we talked about before. But Rashford, a baller on and off the pitch. And recently, his charity work, I don't know if you boys have seen that.
Yep.
I know a lot of other football players do that, but Rashford right now setting the standard in the UK, especially.
Going above and beyond.
Yeah, really just doing above and beyond his job. For example, he goes and performs against PSG, bags a nice little goal for himself, the winner. And then the next morning, he's trying to fight for the schools to get free food, free canteen food for the Aussies listening. It's pretty much school cafeteria dinners. He wants it to all be free for students. And I believe that's such a nice thing to do. But it's not, I think it got denied. I think it got voted no.
Yeah, I think it did. I think that's what, I read that.
It's such a shame. Yeah. I know it's politics and we won't try to get into that because we'll stick to the football. But I just wanted to shout out Rashford real quick. England player, I really think he's a class person. But yeah, Lampard's tactics for me, I did enjoy the formation setup. We had a 3-4-2-1 with Thiago Silva, Reece James, and Silva, Reece James, and Chilwell at the back. Now, I like that formation because it allows Chilwell to be able to run up the wings and whip balls in. And on the opposite side, it also allows Reece James to get up the line and whip balls in. Now, the midfield battle for me is where we kind of lost it. Jorginho, I just don't believe he has it. I don't know why Kovacic, and as much as I don't think Kovacic would have changed the game at heaps. I think he would have made enough of an impact because he likes to drive with the ball. Kovacic is quite a skillful player, quite good on the ball. If you ever watch him play, he's very comfortable with the ball, getting it at his feet, taking on a player, doing a nice little turn and spreading it wide. Whereas Jorginho more offers like a possessive type game. And the possession stats show it didn't really give us much possession. But yeah, for me, that game was just really Mendy. Just from Chelsea, from a Chelsea fan perspective, for me, if that wasn't Mendy in goal, we lose that game.
Yeah, it would have been a different game if you had Kepa in goal.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on the game, Marc, before we skip on to your game?
I thought that you guys... Well, I thought there would have been goals in it.
Yeah, we all predicted there was going to be goals. I think I predicted 3-1?
Yeah.
You said 3-0.
Yeah, I said 3-0 to Chelsea, and then you said 3-2.
And I said 3-2.
You said 3-2 to United. And then no goals were scored.
No goals were scored. I did think that you guys should have been given a penalty.
Oh, yes. That's what I forgot. I'd have this written down, and I forgot that. So the VAR controversial. Now, I'm going to let you talk about this quickly, Liam, because you said to me that, you also believed it was a penalty. And as a United fan, I think that's kind of good. I think it's good that United fans are agreeing with that.
Look, I mean, you don't have to know a lot about football to know that was a penalty.
Yeah, it was, mate.
I don't know what sport you can get away with doing that.
Yeah, Maguire, mate, he does. And the thing is, Maguire, if you watch Maguire's defending, he gets away with so many dirty fouls in the box, just pulling on shirts, pushing players. I know a lot of players do it, but with VAR, you'd think that it would get sorted. And then the fact that he got, apparently came out from Optus Sport, and this is the only source I saw it from. So if it's wrong, it's wrong. But they said that it was cleared within 3 seconds.
Yeah,
VAR cleared that within 3 seconds. They saw that and went. They didn't even watch any of the other angles. They went, no, that's fine.
Yeah, they do it with offsides when someone scores.
Yeah, when it's... this gets me so angry every time.
Again, like last week...
VAR just letting us down. And I believe you said that, Marc.
Yeah, I said every week we're going to be talking about this. Until VAR changes, it's going to be...
Oh, it was disgusting.
So if it was a linesman who missed it, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But because we now have technology...
video technology to watch it back.
And they just dismiss it.
They just dismiss it.
Even a bigger point. But yeah, next week, we're going to we should do a weekly VAR segment.
Yeah, and we talk about how shit it is.
It can be a weekly VAR
and I read a thing with Marc on the Reddit. I honestly starting to believe this whole VAR is a conspiracy. I'm going to sound crazy here, but I believe they want us to hate it. Because why the fuck else would you not check that? Why are you not checking that? Aspie put his arms in. He was raging and they waved it off. For those of you who didn't watch the controversial decision, it was pretty much Maguire rear chokeholded Aspie in the box, and he wouldn't let him jump up, so he fully got fouled. And then Maguire, and it was coming to Aspie's head, and Maguire headed it clear with a hand around the neck. It was honestly disgraceful to see that and it not be given a penalty. And this is not to bag you, Liam, but to bag United as a whole. I'm telling you right now, if that was Maguire in our box and Aspie the other way around, it's given a penalty every day of the week.
Yeah. It's shame. I have to admit that's what happens.
Mate, it's
not against United fans.
No, not against United fans at all. It's just how it is.
Corruption within. Well, I personally think it's corruption within VAR, the Premier League, and the FA.
Yeah, and these are obviously our personal opinions, guys. So don't.
The amount of I don't know, like clear and obvious things that happen that they don't call, and the things that aren't clear and obvious that they do call. It's just, there's no consistency with VAR.
Never.
There's never consistency.
And I feel like, and this is what annoys me about it, I feel like we talk about this week in, week out. I know you said about the segment, but generally, honestly, we talk about this week in, week out on the podcast. And you did say last episode that there would be probably a VAR controversial decision.
And there probably will be next week, Like,
and there probably will be in the United Arsenal game.
That's why when I later on predict the Arsenal United game, I'm predicting a United win, because I think VAR will play a part in it. And I don't even think it would just be that. There'll be, West Ham will be playing Liverpool. There might be something happening in there. I don't know. But now it's just getting beyond the joke.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get bored of it, to be honest.
Honestly, like, to sum up this game, to me, it was boring, lackluster, did not have anything good about it apart from Mendy showing me that he's actually a good keeper. And to give you guys a couple stats here, on one of the sites, the Premier League sites I looked at, he's actually had one of the best starts to his season as a keeper with the stats and the goals from outside the shots from outside the box being saved and everything like that. Yeah. Whereas Kepa last season had the worst in the whole league for shots from outside the box. And I used to always get worried. I remember speaking to Marc about shots coming from outside the box when Kepa was in goal, because they'll just go in. So it's good to see Mendy saving that. But yeah, overall, boring game. Now,
mind you, though, as a neutral, and I know both of you are stinging in that none of you won the game.
Oh, I'll take the point, but
I would be, but you guys have both dropped silly points, self-way, in this season, especially with the no fans thing.
Yeah.
It's good that both of you could have lost that game.
I would rather take the point than the loss.
You were sitting at Liam. I'm pointing at Liam. Liam was sitting there saying it's winnable. You were sitting there saying it's winnable.
Yeah, it was a winnable game.
So, I mean, I'm glad. In this, we're not like talking about we're not all top of the league or anything. We're looking at finishing top 4.
100%.
A point against United and a point against Chelsea.
If you asked me at the start of the game, would you take a point? I'd say, of course. But with what I want to see from my Chelsea team and the tactics, I don't question Lampard, but I do question the decisions made with the starting lineup. But I believe that Lampard has his own reasons for starting certain players. Like I said, and it always annoys me when fans do question team selections, because we don't see behind the scenes. We don't see the training sessions. Yeah. We don't see who rocks up, who turns up. We just see stats for a season. We go, oh, he's a baller. But really, we don't know how he performs in training. So we will move on from that game. Any final thoughts before we move on? Sorry, Liam, about the United game? Nothing really to add?
No, I'm feeling
pretty good with a point.
I'm feeling happy enough with a point, to be honest.
That's fair enough. To be fair, it is a fair enough result.
Yeah.
Now we will move on. Marc, if you want to take this Arsenal-Leicester game away.
Yeah. We start off the first half quite well.
You look sad, mate.
Yeah, well, we start off first half quite well. We were aggressive attacking. We scored in the first half, and it was disallowed.
Who scored that goal?
Lacazette scored from a corner. It was disallowed. And
now, before we move on from that, I want to touch on that, because we did have a conversation about this. So you and a lot of people were on your side for this that do not believe that goal should have been disallowed.
Yeah.
Now, can you explain it for the people watching?
Well, again, it was another thing that took about 3 or 4 seconds for VAR to check. Yeah, and the reason why I could sit here and rant like you guys are about Maguire should have given away a penalty. It should have given you a lot of penalty, but I'm used to it now. It's sad to say it, but I'm wasting my time. VAR spent under 30 seconds checking that over and was like, no goal.
Because what were they were saying that...
They were saying Xhaka was in the way.
The view of...
And to be fair, at the first I was like, yeah, he did.
It did look like it from
the angle.
The different angles,
yeah. And then about, I think the 30th minute, they showed another angle, and I was like, hang on.
Nowhere near him.
He's nowhere near him. And then the commentators were like, He's not impeding, because he didn't touch the ball.
Because impeding is where they're actually blocking the keeper from
moving and saving it.
And he wasn't impeding. He may have been blocking his vision, but there's nothing against the rules to say you can't really block the vision of the keeper.
So again, it's another blunder by VAR, and we then ended up. I think that changed us mentally, but Arsenal these days, we're too backwards passing, sideways passing. Like I said to you, we don't score these days normally more than 2 goals a game.
Yeah, and that's not what I'm used to seeing from Arsenal, to be honest.
And you score 1-0 in the corner, it's like, we're going to maybe get another chance. I can't see us putting 3 or 4 past Leicester. We would under Wenger because we played a very attacking, fluid sort of football, but under Arteta, because we have those defensive issues, we start off defensive and we start, trying to work from the back to goals. But then David Luiz got injured in the second half. Mustafi came on, which was another fucking...
Oh, God. And again, sorry to cut you off there, but David Luiz, is probably your most creative player right now.
Yeah, well, Saka was good. Saka's still doing well, but I don't know why, whether it was a tactic or I don't know what happened, but like Luiz was playing the long through balls over...
he did that at Chelsea a lot,
and it was good. It was working. Tierney was whipping in the crosses. Lacazette, I genuinely think it's time for us to move on from Lacazette.
He missed the sitter, didn't he? In front of
goal.
He
missed the sitter, and it's not the first time. Last season he was doing it. This season he's been doing it. I genuinely think we need to invest in a new striker. I don't know why we don't play Aubameyang up front.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are not playing down the middle. There has to be a reason.
Is
it to fit Lacazette in the side?
I think so. Yeah, and I think that we need to cut ties with like how we feel about Lacazette, and just do what wins us a game. I don't know why we don't play Saka on left wing, Aubameyang through the middle, and either Willian or Pepe down the right. Lacazette can. I strongly believe in players, if they're not on form, they get dropped, and they've got to work their way back into the side. But yeah, I think his career, personally, at Arsenal is over. He's been missing too many sitters, and he's not that striker that I think will take us to the next level.
100%.
And speaking of that, I posted 2 lineups out on the Instagram page because I still think that we should be trying to fit Ozil in.
Yeah.
We can't, but personally, I'm thinking like, out of the 25 players we have in our squad, surely Ozil can create more than what we are.
I remember you saying to me a couple of days ago actually that the football from Arteta, as much as it's just not fun not really enjoyable at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think you said to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you believe Wenger with this side could probably do more.
I genuinely, I think Wenger could. I think we could attack better. I think we can score more, but we concede a lot more.
Yeah.
The thing with Arsenal was we'd always push forward with Wenger, and as soon as we lost the ball, we'd be on the counter, and we'd concede. And with defenders like Mustafi, David Luiz, and all them lot, we would concede a lot. So, again, Arteta hasn't got the players that he wants in each position, but...
You got to make do what you have.
I mean, yeah, we got to make do what we have, but, look, people cannot tell me straight that Ozil cannot
not good enough
come off the bench and create one killer pass, to not make the Europa League squad or the Premier League squad. If people turn around and say, it's not political or it's not...
it's because his work rate. Fuck off with that, mate. He's
not
class.
About that.
It doesn't matter about his work rate. If he comes in the last 10 minutes, he changes the game.
Yeah, he's still... I think he's made the most chances since Arteta's took over.
and he's not even played.
He hasn't played since before lockdown.
That's a shambles.
And he's created the most chances. The last game he played, he assisted the winner for Arsenal. But yeah, I made the lineup because I wanted to fit Ozil in.
Oh yeah, talk about the lineups real quick.
I got a couple of messages, one from Ryan and one from Harrison Carter. They're both Arsenal fans, both brothers. Harrison Carter agrees with the Arteta lineup, which I
Shout
get.
out Harrison,
which
by
I
the
get. He said midfield is solid, can all drop back to have extra numbers in defence. Which, like I said, defensively under Arteta, we're doing well. But we're not scoring those sort of goals. Ryan said, the lineup is a tricky one. I feel we lack Ozil's creativity, but at the same time, do we have the strikers finish off those chances? I don't think so. Personally, I would use Willian in the midweek ties and start using Pepe from the start in the right wing. I do feel since Uber signing De Ting that he's looked flat and been lazy. At the same time, Saka has been our best player and feel he deserves a start in that left wing. The lack of Uber down the middle is a bit is a bit, I don't know what you said there, 6 of one, half a dozen of other for me. Both have their obvious strengths and weaknesses. Midfield, personally, I would drop Ceballos and keep him for midweeks. He's not creative enough and gives the ball away too often against clubs that punish you for mistakes. I keep Xhaka and Partey in midfield and maybe add Ozil. Defence and goalkeeper are looking pretty solid to me. Given Luiz is now injured, I'd defo be giving Saliba and Gabriel partnership a run. Because Mustafi, and I showed you that thing.
Oh, yeah, talk about that real quickly.
Scored.
That was, my God.
So, Mustafi had just come back from injury. Luiz came off.
Injured.
Injured, and Mustafi came on. And Gabriel is running back, marking under from Leicester. And you can see Gabriel pointing at Mustafi to cover that empty area. And Mustafi just jogs back, and Vardy sprints.
Mate, he was pretty much walking.
Yeah, and Vardy just sprints past him, and it's literally like one of those FIFA sweaty goals.
Yeah.
You cross it in, open goal.
Yeah.
And
that was their game plan.
Yeah.
It was to wait to bring Vardy on to
because,
score that type of goal like that.
Yeah, because
he did.
Yeah, Leicester parked the bus the whole game. As soon as Vardy came on, it was
different
just
game.
Attack.
Yeah.
And it was a tactical masterclass by Brendan Rodgers. And I got to give him credit to that.
Where credit's due. Yeah.
But Ryan also sent in a good question, a good message actually, and I didn't realise this. Thought of an interesting point. Not sure if you want to see what the other lads think. Have you noticed that Arteta doesn't seem to want to play any of Emery's signings? And he's talking about Guendouzi, Torreira, Pepe, Saliba. All these players aren't making the squad.
Yeah.
And these are players that Emery has signed.
When did you sign Saliba?
We signed Saliba at the beginning of last season, and he went back on loan.
Similar to what happened with
Melling. Yeah. And Torreira, I liked him. I liked him. I genuinely just thought, you know what, maybe he doesn't fit Arteta's style. That's fair enough. Managers have their own players for their style.
Yeah, they like their own.
Yeah, but then Guendouzi not being featured, obviously the Brighton incident, but I mean, it's not the biggest incident that's happened in football. You know, Kent and I kicked 2 Crystal Palace fans back. You know, and
shout out Eric Cantona, bro.
And he didn't get, you know, frozen
Times
out
have
the
changed.
squad.
Times have changed.
So Ryan, I do genuinely think that's a good statement. I think Saliba's one of the biggest prospects in football at the moment at centre half, and he's not been started yet. Same with Guendouzi. You know, he's touted as one of the best midfielders. Torreira, he's doing bits at Atletico Madrid now, and Pepe not really starting either.
That is a very interesting point.
Yeah, whether it's something personal, whether he thinks.
Maybe he thinks they're not good. He could simply, I don't know, I'm being very basic here, but he could think they're not good enough.
It's just a weird, if it is, it's a weird coincidence why
it is very
Arteta
weird.
wouldn't want to play any of Emery's signings. The only signings I can think that he's playing is Kieran Tierney. And that's about it. Maybe David Luiz, I think he was signed under Emery. He was signed under Emery.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because he was signed
Emery.
on deadline day with KT. But yeah, so that is a weird.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah, weird situation. But yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. What would in the poll, for you guys that didn't know, Marc put a poll up with the 2 sides. There was an option A, and if you want to read it, do you have the option A in front of you, what the lineups were?
Yeah. Let me just pull it up.
2 seconds, guys. So yeah, he had 2 options, one being one lineup and the other being the other lineup. Now, I think the majority of the lineup went to the B lineup, which is similar to what they have at the moment.
So option A, for me, is Leno it's a 4-2-3-1. It's Leno in goal, Tierney at left back, Gabriel Saliba centre half, Bellerin right back, Xhaka Partey playing the holding midfield, Saka on the left, Ozil in the middle, William Pepe on the right, and Aubameyang up front. Now, I think that's a solid lineup.
That's a solid lineup,
but
in my opinion.
Again, like we said, defensively, you're going to concede, but I mean,
I don't know, the Partey and Xhaka in the middle, I feel like Partey gives that work rate to really, like, I've seen his highlights when he played in, for his, what club was he at previously, sorry?
He was at Atletico.
I didn't want to say it wrong. Atletico Madrid. So yeah, when I watched him versus Messi and how he locked down Messi, I just believe that he actually has a very, very good defensive work rate.
Yeah.
So I don't think you would concede too many, but I understand having, you know, the Ozil and Xhaka in that side may cause some problems.
Yeah.
But
and then there's option B, which was what we fielded, and I've got to give credit where credit's due. I've got to defend Arsenal here. We didn't play this formation ever, but we signed Partey to eventually play this formation, which was a 4-3-3. It's the first time we played it. Tierney, Gabriel Luiz, Bellerin in defence, Leno in goal, Partey, Xhaka, Ceballos in the midfield, Saka, Laka and Uber up front. again, it's good.
Is
but
this a similar lamp to what I
no, that's identical to what we played for Leicester. We've never played 4-3-3.
Oh, okay.
So this is
you
the first time
predicted the lineup.
No, this was after the game.
Oh, was this after the game?
Because I thought, I'm looking at that. Look, Xhaka isn't creative. Partey's not really creative. He's more that strength in the midfield.
He's
like
more
Kante.
that robust midfielder, yeah.
Ceballos,
he'll get stuck in.
Ceballos, he's no Ozil. He's a good midfielder, solid midfielder, but he's
not creative though.
He's not going to, I don't know why Ozil would not be able to fit into that. But it's something that I'm just going to have to get over.
So who won the votes for that? Which team? Was it the option B?
Option B, yeah. 4-2 it ended. Yeah, so Dylan and Mitch Lovett. Dylan Hart, Mitch Lovett.
Shout out Dylan Hart, by the way. Big love.
Yeah, Druv.
Druv, yep.
Yeah, and Harrison voted option B.
Fair enough.
And then that's when Harrison said midfielder solid, can drop back to have extra numbers in defence. Also, just looking at our story now, I put up about 20 minutes ago a story saying is Tottenham winning the league with a poll.
Oh, really?
And it is 0 votes to yes, 6 votes to no.
Oh, God.
Liam, you got on Instagram while we've been doing the show. You voted no. A mate of mine, Jacobs, voted no. Dylan Hart voted no. Ryan Carter voted no, Druv voted no, and Daniel O'Callaghan
By the way, just a statement.
no.
I do not believe they're going to win the league. I'm asking these questions as being the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
I got to get good content, boys. All right? I got to get the good content.
Yeah.
Dan laughed pretty hard at you the other night, though.
About what?
When he said that they were going to win.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Daniel thinks that anyone's going to win the league but Liverpool. So, like, it's
maybe, yeah.
I think Daniel's just as deluded as I am when we come to our teams. Like, we think the best of our teams. We don't think they can do shit.
Yeah. But that's what happened with Arsenal. We go again next week.
Who do you have next week?
United.
And that's a
Liam's
good
on the
little
show.
segue.
Yeah.
We do have this. Do you want to go into the Arsenal United game now?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on. I reckon we'll go into it, boys.
Yeah.
So, we have the Arsenal United game next week. Now, as we did with the previous episode with Marc asking me and Liam the questions, we've got a similar segment this week.
The opposite way around, yeah.
Opposite way around. I'm going to ask you boys.
Good timing that, it was Chelsea United.
It was very
Arsenal
perfect.
United.
We had a little double guest episode special.
Yeah.
So, I do have 5 questions for you boys today. So, they are, questions that will have you thinking a little bit, but not too hard.
Yeah,
we don't want to fry those brains of yours.
And you know what we should do when we have guests and we do these sort of things? We should have a poll see who won the debate.
Who won the debate? Oh, I like that. I like that. We can start that today.
Yeah, we can start that today.
So guys, make sure you get on the Instagram at the 3 Points Podcast.
Yeah.
Luke can give the points at the moment.
Yeah. All right. But
as long as you're happy with
whatever questions you ask, I want Liam to go first because guest goes first.
Okay.
It's
so
etiquette.
We'll start with the first question, and I do want you guys to explain your answers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, who will finish above this season? Will it be Arsenal above United or will it be United above Arsenal? And I want to know why. So, Liam, you can go first. Do you believe United will finish above Arsenal?
At the start of the season, I said Arsenal were above us.
Yep.
I just believe their form coming in and they've still got some growth to go under Mikel.
Okay.
I mean, they came off like last season They beat Liverpool and City.
Yeah, they did have some big results in the last season.
They won the FA Cup. They were bringing that into this season.
Yeah, beat us.
Beat you lot. 2-0.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not happening again, but all right. Yeah, Mikel's still pretty new. I think they're building towards something.
Yep.
I feel what stage they're at in their build compared to what stage we're at in our build, I have them ahead of us.
Okay, so you believe that Arsenal will probably finish above United this season?
I would say so.
Okay, now Marc, over to you. Do you believe Arsenal will finish above United? Do you agree with Liam's statement there?
I do. I expect us to. I think United have had some, especially, when you look at teams when they played Palace, they lost. They were fluky to get their 3 points against Brighton.
Yeah, that's true.
That Tottenham loss, they...
Just repeat that, 6-1?
6-1, yeah.
Title contenders, boys.
Yeah. I mean, how many wins have you got this season? I know you beat Newcastle. So 2 wins, you played 5 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, people are starting to freak out, Arsenal, thinking we've dipped, but we've only lost 3 games, and 2 of those were against Liverpool City, which I thought that we wouldn't win anyway.
They're points that you weren't expecting to grab anyway,
and Leicester, it wasn't as if... you
did dominate on the stats.
game,
you had the first half. You guys really dominated.
And
them.
I genuinely think if Mustafi had a fucking footballing brain.
Oh, mate, that was poor. When you showed me that clip,
we would
that
have
was
at least
poor.
walked out with a point.
That was poor.
But then again, recently we've struggled going forward. So this weekend and in the future, we've got to try and take our chances. We need to create more chances, and I don't know how that's going to happen. But so far, we've won the games that we didn't win under Emery, the games that we should win.
Yep.
And I think if we continue doing that and try and grab a couple of points here and there off the big six, we'll finish above United.
Awesome.
I don't see them going on a long run of form. I still think they're a bit dodgy here and there.
100%.
Again, they beat PSG. I think that might have gave Ole a bit more time. Which
Ole's
is good
back
for,
at the wheel.
Which is good
it's
for
good
the
for
other
us, boys.
19 other clubs not in the league. But yeah, I think Arsenal finish above.
Look, mate, at least we're competing in Champions League this year.
Ooh.
That's all right, mate.
Don't let it get far out, boys. Calm down. Don't get feisty too yet.
I mean, Arteta's got more trophies than your manager, and your manager got a team relegated. So,
jeez. All right, I'm going to move on quickly for you boys. Start a little argument.
Yeah.
But I like the banter, boys. All right, so second question. Good answers, by the way, boys, for the first one. Second question. Who has the better overall squad and why? Liam again. Oh, actually, Marc, you can go first this time.
I'd say United.
Okay, and why?
They've got a better squad depth. They've got more creativity. They've got more chances up front. They've got a better. Well, you're looking at money wise. They've got the better defense.
Yeah.
Our defense. We got David Luiz on a free, I think.
Yeah, it was.
They spent $8 million on Maguire.
Fridge. Who chokeholds people in the box and doesn't get a penalty for it.
Yeah. So
Still mad about it.
I think they've got
Still
the
mad
better
about
squad. I think they've got a squad that could compete for the league better, but they've just got a clueless manager that doesn't know what he's doing.
Fair enough. Now
that last bit rings true.
Over to Liam. Who do you think has the better squad and why?
I'm back on us saying I think we have the better squad.
100%. Okay.
Look, we've got a bit to go. I think, as Marc pointed out, I think it's pretty clear for me Mikel's the better manager than Ole.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why they're playing better.
Yeah.
Do we have the quality? Yes, we definitely have the quality. I think we're starting to show over the last couple of games that our defenders can actually do what they're being paid for.
Yeah, can defend.
I mean, you can go on about that money stat. Yeah, I said it last week. We overpaid for Maguire, but that's all right. He's there now. He's got to do a job. Luiz is there now. He's got to do a job for you.
As a fan, you can't control that signings of that. I understand.
Man. Now that he's there, he's got to do his job.
And to be fair,
we got Wan Bissaka in there, and he's
looked good.
He's probably been our best player since we got him.
And Maguire, in recent
every
games,
week.
Maguire has been doing his job of defending aerial balls, and he has bagged a goal in the game last week. Was it?
He got a goal against Newcastle.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so I understand that, but overall, I do. And I know I'm not really joining this conversation, but I would also say United probably has the better squad on paper.
I think squad depth as well. Like I said, I love the young guys that we have coming through.
Yeah, even had Pogba on the bench against us, I believe, on the weekend.
We did.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you started with Fernandes in the middle, and then I think you had...
like if you've got McTominay, Fred...
Yeah.
Matter.
All right. Awesome, boys. Loving that answer as well. Yep. We'll move on to the third question now. So, if you could sign any player from each team, so from either team, who would it be and why?
Wait, so
if you could sign any player from Arsenal, and if you could sign any player from United, who would it be? Liam, you can go first.
Oh, mate. I reckon we should get Ozil because we give him a game.
That's easy.
I knew the answer was coming in.
I'd take Fernandes. Only because he's the most creative player in United. And could you imagine Bruno Fernandes behind Aubameyang, Saka, and Willian and Pepe?
Do you imagine Fernandes and Ozil on the same team?
I have not seen Ozil for about 6 months. So I don't even know what his form's like.
Yeah, what he can do.
And he's 33. How old's Fernandes?
You weren't backing him before now.
I was
now
backing
him
before,
You're not backing him anymore.
No. But like, I can't judge what Ozil would do right now because I hadn't seen him. But from the last game I saw him.
Yeah.
No, but like I'm saying, from what I've seen him last of him, he was decent, which was about 6 months ago. It's last year.
Okay, to cut the question a bit more specific for you, if you could sign a current player for Arsenal that's actually in the Premier League squad, who would it be?
Current player? Who do I like down there?
And it doesn't even have to be a player that you guys necessarily need. It can be a player that you would just want at your club.
I'd say that, you want to get a good striker like an Aubameyang, or at least like a good attacking player. You can't go past not wanting a player like that in your club.
I think having Aubameyang in your team is just I'd want him at Chelsea, to be honest. I know we have Werner at the moment, but if we didn't have Werner, I'd probably take him.
Yeah, but no, I'd take Fernandes for that creativity.
He would be a beast at Arsenal. Arsenal.
Comparing Fernandes to Ozil, Fernandes is currently in his peak.
Yeah, he's playing a lot better. Well, from what we've seen, we haven't seen Ozil.
Yeah, so that's why I'd take him, and I think that he'd be good signing.
Awesome. Good
Actually,
answer, boys.
I'd maybe take your man Kieran Tierney.
Oh, fuck off! Don't touch KT. Don't touch KT.
I really like the way he plays.
Yeah.
Compared to our players on the left-hand side.
If he stays
left back?
Yeah, if he stays with us, he's future captain.
You reckon? Yeah. Big shout. All right, boys. Moving on to the next question. Who will win a trophy this season if you guys were to win one, United or Arsenal?
I think Arsenal again.
Arsenal? Why?
Why? Again,
just because of the squad depth? Form as well?
Form.
Okay.
They won it last year.
To be fair,
they've got to go back and they've got to defend the FA Cup. I mean, we bombed out to you guys in the semi.
Yeah.
If you look at Arteta playing in the cup competitions, he's beaten City once, Chelsea once. He's now beaten Liverpool twice in the cup competitions.
Yeah.
I think Arteta's form and record in the cup competitions are better. If we were to win a trophy, I'm going for the Europa League. I think he's going to target that because, again, that's a option B into the Champions League. I think we'll bomb out the Carabao Cup against City. And I think
that's fair enough.
I think it's either going to be an FA Cup or the Europa League, but I think the focus will be heavily on the Europa League.
Because that will get you that Champions League qualification.
Yeah, because if we slip up towards the end and we finish fifth, then at least we're
really focusing on that Europa League.
So I think if we were to win a trophy, it'd be Europa League.
So we're all saying probably Arsenal would win the trophy first this season.
Yeah. But mind you, if you guys do have a good chance, you're still in the League Cup. You beat Everton, you're in the semis. So it depends. I think
we're definitely not out of the cup. I think if we're going to win anything this year,
United going on a cup run, maybe. I think Ole, that's your best chance of Ole even staying at United for another season is winning something.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the next question. Now, it was kind of hard to think of a really good final question, but one that I've always kind of wanted to know from most fans at most clubs is, and this is a question for you boys, would you rather win the Premier League or the Champions League? You can only win one, so this is like it's one of those hypothetical situations.
As our club or as ourselves?
As a club. So as Arsenal, obviously Arsenal United. So as a club versus Arsenal United, would you rather win the Champions League or would you rather win the Premier League?
I'd rather us win the Champions League because we've never done it.
Fair enough.
So I'd like to see us do that. But I like seeing people win the Premier League because they've got to be consistent over 38 games home and away.
Exactly. It's a tough question, to be honest.
Whereas if you go to Champions League, people can then go, oh, you're lucky in the final. Oh, you fluked the semis.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have won. You should have got a sent off in the quarters or something like that. Whereas the Premier League, you have to be bang on every game, home and away, consistent throughout the whole season. But then again, if you are straight to it, I'd rather us win the Champions League because we've never won it.
Okay, fair enough. Liam?
I'd rather win the Premier League.
Premier League? And why?
Oh, look, Champions League is great, to go up and compete against the best teams, but the Premier League's the main focus. That's the one that you want to win every year.
Yeah.
You're playing against all the best clubs in your country.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that builds more status.
Yeah, winning the Premier League,
Getting on the world stage is always good, but I feel as if kind of sort of getting at what Marc was saying is you can play good on your day in the Champions League.
But you got to be consistent in the Premier League.
You know
obviously.
what I mean? Like PSG the other week, we were good on the day. Can we do it next time? We don't know.
Winning that result 9 out of 10 times.
Yep.
I mean, we could go out and beat Arsenal this week. We got to go back and we got to beat them again, and they're going to come harder next time. Yeah. So, when we play later in the season, we don't know what spots we're competing for.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel the rivalry stronger. You always want to do better in your home league.
That's what I'm thinking. Because the reason I asked this question is, especially for you both clubs, is because it's one of those questions where what's more prestigious? Now, is it the Champions League or is it the Premier League? And this is one of the reasons why I asked the question, because for me, I know I'm not really involved in the conversation, but I would rather win the Prem just because I feel like that. And as much, and it's a hard question because I'm kind of down myself now when I say it out loud, but winning that Premier League is just like, yes. You know what I mean? It's just like, yes. We fucking did it, boys.
I've dreamt of us being champions of Europe. I think that's the most prestigious thing you can do.
And that's my kind of argument. But then again, the Champions League is like you're versing every top club in European football.
The prize money just itself for the club
and the music, the setting.
You just see what it did to Liverpool. They won the Champions League, and the following season they won the Premier League.
Yeah,
it just gives you that belief. It gives you the money to back the squad and to improve in little areas. And
so I'm getting a final answer from both of you. You're saying Champions League.
Yep.
And you're saying Premier League.
I'm sticking with Prem.
And what would you say, Luke?
I said Premier League just then. But I'm changing my mind. I'm saying Champions League.
You're saying Champions?
Because, to be fair, when we won the Champions League, I was gassed.
Yeah.
I've never been that gassed about anything in my life, to be fair. So, I still have dreams about Torres going for on goal 1-on-1. But anyway, so I'd have to say Champions League. But that was the end of my questions for that.
Right.
But
Great
now I do want to
questions,
talk
mate.
a bit more about the United Arsenal fixture. Now, I'm going to pass over to you, Mark, quickly. How do you think Arsenal will set up? What do you believe the formation will be? And what do you think the starting lineup will be?
I think we'll play our 3-4-3 again.
Okay.
I think we need to be wary on the defence. I think we're going to be playing a very counter-attacking football. We'll contain United quite a bit. We'll soak up all the pressure and we'll go forward when we can. I think our pace with when you got like Pepe, who's quick, Aubameyang's quick, Saka's quick.
Yeah.
Going forward, we'll be dangerous, and I'm saying as long as Mustafi isn't playing, we've got a chance.
Okay, because United's defense, are they quite slow? I know Wan-Bissaka's quick, but I'm talking about the actual centre backs. Maguire doesn't seem that quick to me.
I don't know, but Maguire's not hot on confidence at the moment.
Yeah.
If you've got a counter attack of one of those quick players running through on goal, if he brings them down for a penalty, I know most likely won't because it's United bringing our players down. But
yeah, I mean they got last week.
But it's we could end up getting something out of it. But I still think we're going to get dicked over by VAR somehow. I think I'm playing this out in my head that we're going to be drawing for quite some time.
Mate, are you blaming the loss on something before it's even happened?
And in the last 20 minutes or last 10 minutes, VAR's going to come in and give him a penalty or free kick, and that will punish us.
You seem quite negative about it. You really don't seem positive
before the game's even started.
I've got to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and be deluded.
Fair enough. I do respect it quite a lot.
I've just got to back him. I've seen Arsenal play against Leicester. I don't see us controlling a game against United. We haven't.
So do you think you won't have the possession? Do you don't think you'll control the midfield at all, or do you think they will?
No, I think they'll control it. I think going to Old Trafford, we haven't got a great record. I think
neither do they this season though.
Yeah, well, they are playing Arsenal. We tend to not. Even though a team hasn't got a good record somewhere, it's a known fact amongst Arsenal fans. We always,
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
A team could not score at home for 18 games, but they'll play Arsenal and they'll score their first goal at home.
Yeah, they get all their stats against
and it's against us, and that's just a thing. And I think we've got the chance. I think we've got to be clinical. I say this every week because we don't score more than 2 goals a game nowadays. And how defensively we play sideways, backwards. If we go forward and Lacazette's up front and he gets another sitter, he's got to bury it. I'd even start someone like Nketiah, who's a youngster, who's not the best, but at least he'll be, I've got this chance in the Arsenal side. I don't want to I want to be able to prove myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my opinion. What do you think, Liam?
Unlike you, I'm feeling good about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Quite confident,
I actually think we'll set up similar because I feel that's working well.
Yeah,
having like the couple kind of defensive mids like Fred and McTominay or someone back there.
Yep.
So I'm really liking the way of that.
Okay. Who do you think your strikers will be? It will be Rashford again.
Yeah, look, I think if you got 4 at the back, maybe a couple defensive mids, and then a couple attacking, couple strikers.
Yeah.
I don't really know what formation that is. 4-2-2-2.
Yeah. I reckon you guys will play more of like a 4. Oh, I don't know before the bat, but I'll say a 4-3-2-1 maybe, something like that.
I think I'd like to see Martial and Rashford up front, putting the pressure on.
Yeah,
I feel they can run through, get some strikes, and if Bruno's coming through it like an attacking mid,
he's been playing well this season.
Making some chances.
Yeah.
He'll
So
be
you're
looking good.
this will stem into the next thing. I know we normally do predictions at the end, but I want to do the predictions right now for this one game. I'm going to ask you first, Liam. What is your prediction for the United Arsenal game right now, result-wise? So what do you think the result will be?
See, I'm thinking a bit about the last game. We didn't even score a goal. I personally think if we get through, we can. I think I think we could go 2-0.
2-0?
I think the way that we're defending, I think the quality that Arsenal has up front compared to a Chelsea and a PSG is maybe not as strong.
Okay.
I feel the defense is doing better, but De Gea is in really good form.
Yeah, De Gea is actually in good form, to be fair. So 2-0 for your result?
I'm going to say 2-0. I'm
Easy?
not 100% sure, but
we never can be.
I think we're going to win.
I'm going to be completely shocked if you guys don't score against us because our defence is still very shaky.
So what do you think the prediction is going to be then? So I'm guessing
2-1.
It's going to be an Arsenal win.
2-1 to United.
2-1 to United?
Yep.
And any predictions on who's going to score for United? Anything crazy
Bruno Fernandes to get the winner.
Okay.
Penalty.
VAR or no? Penalty or no?
Penalty.
Here he goes.
It'll be a dodgy.
Here he goes.
No, it's just my prediction, man. I think that we'll be winning, and I think you guys will come back and win it 2-1. It's something that Arsenal do. It's something that I've watched Arsenal do for years, and it's nothing new to me.
That was, to be honest, I was just waiting for you guys to have it out just then, but you didn't. So I'm proud of you boys for you about to have a little smack up just then. And people aren't happy about Fernandes, by the way, boys, over the penalties. We've had some pretty good debates about this season. But we'll move on. So we have next week's matches. Now, we have Wolves vs Crystal Palace on the Saturday for us boys. Any predictions on that one? We'll do predictions and next week's match at the same time. So, prediction for Wolves vs Crystal Palace, boys.
Let's go 2-0.
2-0 for Liam. What are you saying, Marc?
I'm going to go 1-0 to Palace.
I'm going to say 2-1 Wolves. Now, next game after that is Sheffield United versus Manchester City. Liam again, going first. What is your prediction?
I'm gonna say 3-1.
3-1?
Sheffield's got a goal.
Okay. 3-1 to City, obviously.
To City.
Okay.
I'm saying 3-0 to City.
Okay. I'm going to say 4-0 to City.
Burnley, Chelsea, Luke?
Now, I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea. I feel Burnley will get a dirty goal. It's going to be hard to score against Burnley. They're set up very deep, so I don't expect to score many goals. I think, 2-1.
I'm going to be bold here. I think Chelsea are going to fuck them up, and I think it's going to be 5-0 to Chelsea.
Jeez, I hope so. What are you
I
saying?
mean, Burnley's only picked up a point so far this season. I think Chelsea have got that too much power up front.
We do have a very good attack this season.
I mean, we said Tottenham was going to put heat past them, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, 1-0.
I don't see you guys conceding. I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0. Okay, cool. Liverpool, West Ham, boys. Marc.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. Liam.
1-1.
1-1.
I don't want them to win.
2-1 to Liverpool. All right. Next game, we have Aston Villa, second in the table right now, versus Southampton, the old Saints.
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2.
Wait, what's the matchup? Sorry?
Villa,
Aston
Southampton.
Villa versus Southampton.
Do you know what? Nah, Southampton impressed me. I'm giving them 2-1.
2-1. Oh, okay. I like that
What'd
prediction.
you say, Luke?
I haven't gone yet. I'm about to say mine right now. So I believe Villa will lose 1-0 to Southampton.
Nice. Newcastle, Everton?
I'm going to say 3-1 to Everton.
Yeah, I'd say... I'll stick with 3-1, actually.
I'm gonna say,
I don't think Everton's choking.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Everton.
Awesome. Now we have the Man United versus Arsenal game. I'll start with my prediction for that game because you guys already had your prediction. I believe it will be a 1-1 draw.
I can see that. That's a fair draw. Yep.
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think the game will be very even. I think that United will probably dominate the midfield as we all three of us expect, and I think it'll be a very close game. I think Aubameyang will score, and I feel like for United, I think Rashford will grab a goal. So I'm gonna say 1-0. Now, moving on, because we already know your boys' prediction for that game, we have Fulham West Brom. I'm going 0-0. I'm saying 0-0.
I'm going to say... Look, you go.
I was going to give Fulham 1-0.
1-0? Okay.
I reckon they're going to bag another cheeky goal.
I was going to say that. I reckon 1-0 to Fulham.
1-0 Fulham, okay.
Yeah.
And the last game for the weekend...
you missed one.
Oh.
Tottenham-Brighton.
Tottenham-Brighton, my bad. Yes, Tottenham-Brighton. The title contender. I think this is going to be a 3-1 to Tottenham.
I think it's going to be 3-0 to Tottenham.
Okay, cool. Liam?
2-0.
2-0 to Tottenham?
To Tottenham.
Okay. Now, the last game, Leeds United versus Leicester. This is going to be a good game. I'll let you start with this one, Mark.
You know what? I'm going to say 3-3.
3-3?
3-3.
Okay.
I think Bamford and Vardy going up against each other. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be end-to-end attacking.
Yeah.
I might even back in on 3-0, to be honest. I reckon there's going to be goals. I can't split them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, as much as I love Bielsa, I'm going to say Leicester City 3-2.
3-2, Leicester? Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement there's goals in that game.
There's goals in that game. And that does round up the fixtures for next week. Now, 2 seconds, boys. So, a little roundup of the episode. How do you guys think this went? Good?
Yeah, it's good. Episode 5. Liam, you've been on for the past 2 shows, and I want to thank you, and I'm sure Luke wants to thank you as well.
We do appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Now, before we end the podcast, did anyone have any shout-outs they want to have to say? Anyone they wanted to shout out quickly?
Just to use, you want to shout out Jezza?
Yeah. Shout out to Jezza.
Awesome.
He's I'm gonna have to teach him how to Google it on YouTube or search it on YouTube. We're both not very good at this stuff.
2 more people. Let's shout out Daniel for his goal.
Daniel
shout out Daniel.
He was stoked about that.
Oh mate, we were 10-1 at the stage. Still busts out the airplane. Still runs around like he's won the World Cup. I loved it.
I love the attitude of that.
Daniel-san.
But yeah, no, shout out to Daniel. And I guess the last thing I want to say is that this episode, like normally we upload them at 8 o'clock next morning. I think because obviously last week we had a load of issues with the
we're not going to rush it. We're going to take our time.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be tomorrow still. I think it'll probably be more towards the evening.
Okay.
If not the following day, but it's still going to get to you guys as best as we can. But
before we end quick, guys, did want to shout out Terry from work again, showing mad love to the podcast, and he will be coming on. He has confirmed he wants to come on the podcast, so we'll get him on in a couple of weeks, maybe because he's a Chelsea fan, so we can get him on for a Chelsea fixture. Mm-hmm. And I also want to shout out Dylan Hart, showing mad love. Also been commenting on Instagram recently, so I'm gonna mad love to Dylan. Hopefully we get you on the podcast as well soon.
Yep. Is that it, boys? I think that's it, and I think. It's going to be interesting seeing what happens in the football this week.
Awesome, guys. And we will catch you next time.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.
Peace.